Hey everybody, so this is the third out of my 4 book reviews today. Moving out of the slightly controversial history books, we have one that is just pure fiction, pure supernatural, pure awesome in my book. Made a pun. So this one is A Taste of Blood Wine by Freda Warrington. Sorry, I always forget last names here. So this one is, it's about it's set way back in the whole women need to be presented at the ball and married off, that whole time period, which of course dates I could never tell you, but you know, we all know it. Everyone's in their fancy dresses. Women are being announced at balls and introduced formally so that men can court them and profess their love and marry them, and then the women can just sit in the house all day and plan parties. Yeah. So our main character in this book is Charlotte, and she is this lovely human girl in Cambridge, England, and she just, she's a scientist. She's her father's, pride and joy. She is the middle child of her family. There's an older sister, Fleur, and there's a younger sister. I believe her name is Madeline. She's very annoying, so I tend to put her name out of my mind. But she's the level-headed kind of, I wanted to do science and work on science with my father and explore that kind of stuff. She's very also introverted. She does not like going out to parties. Her family tries to make her go out to parties. Not her father per se, and also her mother's dead. But her aunt is very into, you need to come out and be introduced. And her aunt is very like, I have taken your sisters out. Your sisters have been introduced. You are actually the middle child. You should be introduced. We need to marry you off. Very into that kind of social scene. Charlotte is not. On the other side, we have this man named Carl. Carl is actually a vampire created by this master lord of vampires. And Carl is kind of the pride and joy of the master of vampires, Christian. And, Christian created him. He picks these people that he thinks in his mind are going to make the ultimate, following and gathering of people. So he decides on Carl. Carl used to be a family man. He used to have, he played the cello, I believe, and he just was this amazing cello player. And Christian started coming to his performances and then offering him money to come and play private performances. And he needed the money for his family, so he said yes. Long story short, he tricked Carl into becoming a vampire. Carl hates him, killed his family, mostly, except for his daughter, etc., etc. And it's hard, because Carl hates what he is, but he wants to stay alive. Carl's an enigma. He's hard to pit, because he likes, he likes the glamour. He'll go out and party, and he likes meeting people. And, he meets Charlotte, obviously, and they're kind of drawn to each other, but it's not always clear at first, but you can tell they're going to be drawn to each other. And, it's interesting, and it's really crazy, because there's this whole world that Freda Warrington creates. And vampires, every book you read, vampires have very different rules all the time. Just, they can't do this, they can't do that, they can't do this, they can't do that. These vampires, though, they have a different side of them. They can go out in the daytime. Some vampires, they can drink blood, but there's also a way that they don't have to do that. They can suck people's souls out. It's very, very intense. And, it sets up this whole world that you didn't see. It's also, it looks like, I didn't realize until the end, there is a sequel to it, I believe. I don't know that I'm going to go find the sequel, honestly. I liked the first book, and I think, as a reader, you could really just read the first book and actually finish it and be happy. So it's rare, because I feel like a lot of first books in a sequel or even a full series, the first book leaves you on edge and you need to get the next one. But the way she writes it, I really could just take the first book, finish it, and be happy with how they ended that. So I find that pretty interesting. I would give it a high 3, 4 on my scale of 1 to 5. It's a great book. It can be a little long at times, and I feel like sometimes it gets caught up in like the social aspects and, oh, we need to do this. I also got really frustrated because Charlotte's an introvert, which I understand, and the culture is at the time period you don't, if you're a woman, you don't really say your opinion, which is so frustrating for me. And there are so many times that Charlotte gets put in this place where, oh, we're going to do this. Oh, well, wouldn't you like this, Charlotte? And obviously she doesn't want this. But she just shuts up her mouth. And there's at one point when they're trying to marry her off, and I literally wanted to throw the book across the room because they kind of trick her into it, and they're like, well, wouldn't you want to make your family proud of you and not be a spinster and blah, blah, blah. And they back her into a corner, and then she finds out that they've basically kind of already decided that she's getting married to this person. So she really can't even say no. And she's not going to because of how quiet and, introverted she is and how much she wants to please everybody. And I wanted to hurl the book multiple times across the room, but, I was able to compromise with the book, and eventually everything was, I was happy with things. So, check it out. It's Taste of Blood Wine, again, wherever you can find it, local bookstores, etc. It's, something to keep your eye out for if you like supernatural creatures, especially vampires, etc. Okay, guys, alright, last book review coming to you, and then I'm signing off for the day. Thank you so much, as always, for being awesome. Bye.